Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Embodiment and Accountability Podcast. Today is episode 11, and we're going to be talking about divine feminine. And so I'm excited to have my beautiful friend Jessica join me, and we're just going to wait for her. Hi. It hasn't worked. Hi.
Hey, boo. Oh my god, it's so zoomed into my face. Here we go.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited, honestly. I'm like sitting here trying to ground my energy because I'm just like, let's go, let's do it.
Yay. Oh, I'm so happy to connect with you. Finally, live.
So excited. Can't fucking wait.
Yay. Oh. So, how are you?
I'm good, love. How are you doing? How are the energies feeling to you?
I feel like maybe a little too grounded. I've just come from a hike on a little mountain with my friend. And so I'm like, I had a lot of earth and air. And so I'm like,
I love that. I was literally laying outside with my cat this morning.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I don't know if I'm frozen or if you're frozen, but I'll just wait a little. I don't know if it's my connection or I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know if you can you still hear me? Like you're frozen. Maybe get out of the live and come back. Oh. Okay, maybe because I needed to reaccept. Sorry. So sorry. I don't know what happened.
That was so weird. Wait, was I just frozen the whole time?
Yeah. So you said I was laying outside with my cat.
Oh my god. We blew up the internet with our energy. Oh man. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I was saying, that I was laying outside with my cat this morning and I had the grounding as well. But then I was doing some business stuff before this and I got really excited, and I'm just excited to be here with you. So thanks for having
I love that. Thank you for accepting my invitation. This is so much fun. So yeah, if you'd like to maybe present yourself a little so that people know what you do, who you are, and all of that.
me. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So I'm Jess. I'm an intuitive, I'm a transformation mentor and divine feminine teacher. I do lots of things in this world, but like my main focus and passion is teaching women how to, I'm looking at you on the screen, by the way, if I don't know where to look. My main passion is teaching women to connect with their feminine energy, because that's the biggest thing that has transformed like every area of my life. And I've done many different things. I'm 13 years into business. I was a health and fitness coach for 7 of those years. And then I started my spiritual business in 2019. Used to teach manifestation, money manifestation, still teach lots of those things. But now the focus is like on the feminine energetics, alchemy. Alchemy specifically has been like coming up so much lately because I'm like, how do I put this into a concise manner? Because I talk a lot. We're like moving into the new earth right now, and lots of us sensitive souls are really feeling it. And I'm really feeling called to like hold space for people, to give them the tools to like navigate these trying times, the chaotic times that we're in as we shift and change. So that's kind of like the super short version of my story.
Oh,
but I'm
not again.
Oh no, again.
Okay. You're back. Okay.
Yeah. Did it cut off what I was saying?
Yeah.
What was the last thing you heard me say?
I don't know. My brain was like,
Oh, did you hear me talk about alchemy? Did that part go through?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So
Maybe
I think
not, but yeah.
okay. So teaching alchemy, I feel like that's a big part of being in your feminine energy, but that's one of the biggest tools. Like I was thinking the other day, I realized I've been doing alchemy and transformation work for like 15 years now. I just didn't really know exactly what I was doing back then or have a specific process, but it really started for me. Like I lost 60 pounds after college and it transformed my life. I'm going up on a lot of tangents now, but alchemy, I feel like is so important in the times that we're in right now because we're shifting into new earth and some people are feeling lost, confused, and that's like the super short version of it. So essentially I am here to provide tools through that time, and connecting with your feminine energy is really one of the big things that can also help that. Let me know if that made sense, because that was
Yeah, definitely. And like, thank you for sharing and thank you for doing what you do because it is very important. So,
thank you, love. And if you have more questions about my story, please feel free to ask me, to those listening and as
yeah,
we're doing this, because you know, I talk a lot. I love talking, and I'm working on becoming more concise in my storytelling because I have a podcast too. But I'm an open book, so feel
yeah,
free to ask as many questions as you want.
beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so I would like to know, like, for you, like, what has been maybe your most, I just have relevant, but like your most powerful way that you've discovered your divine energy, divine feminine energy, or like how you start working with it, or
Yeah.
in those lines.
Yes. I actually took notes in case I go all over the place, so I have a journal right here next to me.
You're amazing.
Thanks, Boo. I have to because I have so many thoughts. If they're all in my head, I'll be all over the place even more than I already am. But I don't think I'm going to have to look at it, but it's there in case I go off track. Tell me. Okay. So I'm like, which part do I want to answer first? I'll answer the part about like, how did I start connecting with my feminine energy? Okay. Trying, if I like pause awkwardly like this, I'm just trying to like concise a bunch of stories in my head before I talk.
Love that.
So I would say like probably 7 years ago at this point, I was working with a healer. She was one of my best friends at the time. I actually lived with her when I lived in Australia. I've known her for years. We actually met in a business coaching program we were both in like 2015. But my prior business I mentioned earlier, it was a network marketing business when I was doing health and fitness coaching. This is not to knock that company, the industry of network marketing or anything, but it like we were conditioned to do like the hustle, and I actually like made six figures in a really quick time, became debt free, lived and traveled all over the world, did all of these things. And then I'm actually going to make a podcast on my podcast about more about the story soon. I basically went through a lot of loss and lost almost everything. And well, I'm moving ahead. Before that happened, when I was working with my healer, circa like 2017, 2018, something like that, she was really like inviting me to be like, Jess, you don't have to like hustle like this. You don't have to work all the time. Cause I was like in this constant, what's the word, cycle of burnout, and then having to rest for like long periods of time. Like I remember end of 2014, I had gone to Tony Robbins conference, walked on fire, felt like a badass. And I was like pushing for this big goal in the network marketing company that I was in. And I basically had 4 weeks to hit the goal. I hit the goal in 3 weeks, which I don't think anyone else in the company did, but I did it by working like probably 20-hour days or something crazy, if I'm being honest. Yeah. Yeah, girl.
I like that.
Like I would say 3 to 5 months after that big push was when I got that business to six figures in 2015. And I remember after that big push in November of 2014 that I was just talking about, I think I had to like rest for like a month. Like I just remember watching Netflix, or did Netflix exist in 2014, 2015? Probably. I just remember being in my little apartment. This is back when I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, and just like being in bed for so long. Like I was so exhausted. So that was kind of like the tipping point. I'm going all over the place. But that was like the, what did you say?
I just said it makes sense. So
That's cool. I was going to ask you. So I was like working on getting out of that hustle state for years. And then when I started working with my healer, I didn't hustle that crazy like the years after that. And I maintained making six figures for probably like 3 years approximately. But I was still like felt like I had to be doing all the time. So to answer one of the questions, that's really how I started like working with the feminine energy, was with my healer. And she just like, we did so many sessions really to just start reprogramming my mind that like it's about aligned action. It's not about like hustling or working more or taking more action. There's another thing I was going to say with that. And if you've ever taken manifestation courses with me, I say this all the time. What you manifest, like it's more about your energy than it is about the actions that you put in. And Claire, my past healer that I keep talking about, she was just really trying to like nail that into me. And that sounds sexual. I've felt flirty and spicy lately. I didn't actually, but and it's like I was learning that at Tony Robbins. I was learning that through different personal development things I was doing, but like I just didn't believe it, because when I got the business to six figures, it was from the hustling and the manic manifesting, I call it. So so it really started with just like reprogramming to like taking aligned action and working on my energy and essentially like flowing more. Well, that probably didn't. I tried to flow more, and I can talk more about that if you want me to.
I would
Did I?
love, yeah,
What?
I would love that. Please.
Did I answer both of the questions though
I
within
think
that?
I think so. I don't know. I feel like it just makes sense, and it was just like this is amazing. So sharing, because
Okay.
what I like is that um, I feel like a lot of times like we see like successful people, women in general, because like we're women, so I feel like we look up to models or whatever,
Yeah.
and like you don't really know how they started, where they started, and like yes, they can give you like um high level, story of like, oh, I lived there, I had no money in my bank account, and then hustled my way through and blah blah blah, and then made skyrocketed, blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool, but like I don't want to hustle. So how the fuck do I do it, right? If I don't want to be like 20 hours a day, and I'm like, no, no.
Girl, I feel that, and I'm getting like full body chills everywhere, because I truly believe that like this is one of the biggest things that I'm meant to talk about and teach about. And I truly believe, even though it sucked fucking ass to like go through all that I went through to the years after that, because like 2019 is kind of when I started losing everything. I lost my dream apartment that I manifested on the water in LA, and things started crumbling down. And I'm thinking of too many tangents to go off of now, but like I feel like, what year are we in? 2025. The 5 or 6 years, however many years since 2019 it's been since then, I feel like I've been trying to figure that fucking shit out. Like, how do we take aligned action and manifest what we want in our business without doing that hustle? And I feel like when I finally got, because it takes 7 years approximately to like reprogram something. So as I mentioned, it was 2018, 2017 when I started trying to work on this reprogramming of balancing my masculine and feminine energy essentially. And I feel like this year, which makes sense because I think it would be 7 years at this point, I feel like I finally started fucking getting it. And my sales and my business this year have been more than they were in like the last 4 years, because I feel like I finally fucking got it and embodied it. Thank you, Boo. Now, don't get me wrong. I feel like it's also one of my things to like be open about stuff that we've gone through. Like I've been through financial struggles still. Like I'm still rebuilding from shit that I lost in the past. And I think more people should talk about that and be transparent about it. Now that was like 500 tangents. Did that answer your question? Did I even answer the question?
Yeah, yeah,
I think you asked more about flow. I don't really think I answered that.
that one, no, but I sort of like asked, like talked about like business, and I know like you're super passionate about business, and I feel like that's kind of where I'm, I don't want to say struggling, but it's like, well, I feel like it's like the hot topic nowadays of like, women in business, and we want to, go with our cycles and just go with our flow, but then we certainly need masculine like energy because of the actions and structure and discipline and things like that, which is amazing. And it's always like, how do you balance everything? And like, I feel like that's the flow, because I feel like talking about just divine feminine flow, you might not get anywhere with that. But if you're, maybe I'm talking more about like balance in between like divine feminine and divine masculine. I don't know, but I feel like that's kind of a flow in and
Yeah.
of itself. If that makes sense. But
I definitely feel I still have days where I struggle, like, or I'm like, am I getting this shit right? Am I balanced? Am I not doing enough? Am I doing too much? I honestly feel like I stopped doubting that shit probably in the last week or two, maybe 3 weeks to a month at the most. I got this really powerful channel message that I did a podcast on from Goddess Hathor, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, recently. It's on my podcast. You can listen to it. But the summary of it, she was essentially saying like, and this like still kind of blows my mind, because even though I feel embodied in this and have reprogrammed it, I still am like, really? Like, because my logical brain is like, what? But Goddess Hathor was like, only take action when it feels aligned. Like, only. And she was giving a message essentially about like, don't measure how many hours you've worked in the week or how many days you've worked or how many posts you've put up. And this is like shit that I'm so excited about because I'm launching a business program soon. But it's like, this is like major fucking reconditioning that we have to do, because a lot of people that teach social media, this is like a business podcast. I didn't mean for it to be, but you can apply this to other areas of life.
yeah.
Like, people aren't teaching this stuff. And there's something else I was going to say. A message is coming through to share this. Like, I feel like it's really about trusting yourself.
Yeah.
And that's been a big journey for me. And just like giving yourself grace and knowing that it's going to take time. And it really, cyclical living, as you were saying, and being balanced, like, it's going to be different all the time. And something that I've experienced, I do cycle syncing and all that stuff. And I try to like work less and work out less when I'm on my period. But as a highly sensitive person, we also have all of these astrological things that are happening and ascension symptoms, and the Schumann resonance might be doing some crazy shit someday, but like maybe you're not on your period and you don't think you should be resting. Like, I had to tell myself this yesterday. Oh, well, you only did 2 yogas this week, but I was also on my period, but my body really wanted rest. I'm going off an 8 million tangents. Let me know if all that made sense.
Yes. Yes. I mean, it's so relatable too, because I feel like when we're trying to like figure things out, we're like, okay, I'm gonna nail this thing. This is gonna be my routine, and I'm gonna be doing
Yeah.
this, that, and like add in a little ritual here and there, and blah blah blah, and like I'm set, I'm good. Like this is woo, yeah. But then like curveball, you have to pivot every time and just be like, oh, okay, that's not how it's gonna be today.
But that's like what I posted on my stories last week, where I was like, do you want to know about rituals and routines for your divine feminine energy? Because that was something I really struggled with, probably also until maybe the last month or so. I finally was like, I feel like I'm not, because I was like treating my rituals and routines as like a checklist sometimes, if I was being honest with myself. Like, I was only doing it because I felt like I had to do it, honestly.
Yeah.
And when this might like blow your mind and sound crazy, and yes, of course, we still have to take action, and structure and containers are necessary. But honestly, most days, and I know you can't do this like if you have a regular job or certain schedules or whatever, but most days I'm like, I don't have to fucking do anything if I don't want to. With my morning routine, with whatever other routines I'm doing at night, with business. And for me personally, that might not work for everybody, but that's like been one of the biggest shifts for me. Because I meant to say this earlier, like when we're in our wounded feminine energy, that's kind of when we just like are stuck and paralyzed and not doing enough. But the wounded masculine is the opposite side of that, like the hustle and the control. And that's, I used to swing between both. And I feel like a lot of like 2021, 2022, 2023, I was more in the wounded feminine. But this is also coming through to share. It's like, what is that thing called? It's like a swinging pendulum. Like, you might swing one direction and then to the other, like I was saying. But if you've been on this side too much for too long, like, you're going to have to swing back to this side to balance back out. And this is coming through to share too. There was like probably a year and a half of my business, like 2021, 2022, that I didn't know what I wanted to do anymore. And like darkest dark nights of the soul that I ever went through. Wait, I just lost what I was going to say. Oh my God. What was I going to say? Oh, I feel like a lot of feminine leaders either were or have been put in, like, I call it like a timeout from God and the universe, where we're forced to be more in our feminine because of all the years where we were in the hustle. Because like,
Yeah.
I don't even think I had any clients in my business all of 2022, and I went through like a health thing and I had to take half the year off. And I just feel like sometimes that pause has to happen, but it's like a sacred pause, because even though I felt like nothing was fucking happening during that time, like I was recalibrating, I was healing, I was getting clarity on the direction I wanted to go in my business and my life. And again, another million tangents I went on, but let me know if that made sense.
Yeah, definitely. That, and it resonates as well. Yeah, because for, I don't know, like who's listening to this, but like for me personally, uh, like I do get these moments where I'm like, I don't know, like what the fuck I'm supposed to do. Like, am I supposed to start this, do that? And then when I decide ish to do something, I'm like, okay, now how do I do that? And then, but it's just, yeah. So sometimes you're just not meant to start something like right away, let's say after a course or something like that. And you just have to like integrate more or, yeah, I feel that. Thank you for sharing.
Something came through to share really quick if you want me to.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so I know you kind of asked me like my favorite tools to connect with my feminine energy, and there's so many, but the two that were coming through to share, I have my signature program is called Divine Feminine Rebirth, and there's I think 5 different pillars that I teach in there, which also have like sub pillars, if that's even a word. Like there's different pieces to each pillar. One of, I think these are, yeah, they're 2 of the pillars. One of the ones is like connecting with your intuition,
Mm.
and that's really been like such a key for me to like trust myself. And the more you connect with your intuition every day, like that's how it gets stronger. And that can also be like connecting with your guides. Like I try to make it a point, it doesn't happen every day, but most days I try to channel a message from my angels, my guides, even if it's just writing something down in my journal from them. Like that's what I did this morning. It was like a minute or two. And that's been something that's really helped me a lot too, especially if you're an entrepreneur, like learning how to channel messages from your team. Like a lot of the fucking, pretty much most posts and most podcast episodes I put up are from channel messages. So that's like one piece. And then the second piece, I feel like it's just being in touch with your heart and what your heart wants. Ooh, and this is giving me full body chills because it's like,
Yeah.
for I recorded this podcast episode 2 months ago called Devotion Over Discipline, and I realized I never uploaded it, so I'm probably going to be uploading it this week. But
Yes, please.
yes. So it's like when you're following your heart, like I feel like I've done so many podcast episodes recently because I just been so fucking excited to like give these channel messages to people and connect with people. And there was one morning I got channel messages at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I hadn't gotten much sleep. And I was like, I don't care. It was a download to put up an episode called The Chaotic Energy Survival Guide. And like the whole thing just like came through, downloaded it, wrote it down in my journal. And I was so excited, even though I was sleep deprived, felt crazy. I was excited to put that episode up because I knew that it would help other people. So it's like when you're following your heart, that discipline, as in like forcing yourself to do stuff, that's not needed because you're just doing what you fucking love. And like I had to force myself to not work the last 2 days because I had all these other episodes I wanted to record. And I don't like using the word force, even though I just used it. It's part of learning the balance of knowing when to rest and when to work. But yeah, like when you're connected to your heart, again, I keep talking about business a lot, but this can relate to any area of your life, whatever you're wanting to manifest. So like intuition and connecting with your heart are some of the biggest things, like 2 of the biggest things I feel like that will help based on the things you were just sharing. And yeah, like I feel like connecting with your heart can be something as simple as taking your journal out. I think I taught this when you were in my membership last year. Um, It's basically like a tool I think I learned from a past healer, where you just like write out, what does your heart want? Like, what does my heart want today? And you can also do this like connecting with like, what does my mind want? My body. That's like another tangent for another day. But it can really be that simple. And if you struggle to connect with your heart, drinking cacao has been super powerful for me. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that because I'm going off on tangents
No,
in my head.
beautiful. Thank you so much. That's amazing. And I want to have a little time for you to share about your offers if you'd like. So,
Yes, I forgot about that.
not me. I'm like, it's awesome.
So actually this Thursday, my Goddess Alchemy membership is starting and I'm so excited. Ariane was actually in my membership when I first started it a year ago, and it was a different name. It's been a couple different names. But the Goddess Alchemy membership will meet once a month, and then we'll have a group where we connect throughout the month. We'll do like a live Goddess Circle on Zoom. And essentially, it's going to be about all the things that we've talked about in today's call, like transformation, claiming your power, connecting with your wild woman within, your feminine energy. And we'll be working with the different astrological energies and doing different rituals to alchemize shit into gold, hence the name Goddess Alchemy. And really, like I said earlier, I really felt like guided to create this safe space for people, because if you're a newbie on your spiritual journey or you're an OG, like I think I'm 10 years into my spiritual awakening, like since my big one, or close to 10 years. Like I still fucking I still feel fucking crazy sometimes and need support. So I really wanted to make the space for that reason. Of course, we'll do manifestation shit and all that stuff too. So that starts Thursday. And what was I going to say about that? Oh, you also get access to all the previous calls from when I had membership last year, which is super awesome. And then I have so fucking excited. My Divine Feminine Business program, which is essentially a blueprint on how to connect with your feminine energy and business and all the things I've talked about today. Really, it's this place for all the tools that I have implemented into my business that made me have more sales this year than in the last 4 years. And I actually just changed the start date because I was trying to start it a week after my membership because I was so excited. That was necessary to share. But we'll be starting on July 28th. And there's an early bird special that you can plug into if you sign up now, and different what is the word? You basically get access to 4 different modules from my Spiritual Biz Blueprint program, and access to Facebook group to chat, ask questions. And am I leaving something out? Oh, it's a 3-month program, and we'll be doing it live with me. So it'll be live on Zoom. And yeah, that's what I got.
That's amazing.
Thank you. This was
Thank
so
Yay. And where can people find you if they want to work with
good question. So I hang out here on Instagram and YouTube mostly. I have a Facebook. Is that link on my bio? I don't know. My name on Instagram is jessicapage.love. My YouTube is Jessica Page Love, no dot. And my podcast is called The Wild Feminine Way. You can find that on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. And I sometimes film my podcast episodes live in my Facebook group. And you can message me for that link because I don't think it's in my bio anymore. But it's called Divine Feminine Rising. I think you can look it up that way for the Facebook group. I can't talk.
Yay. That was amazing.
Thank you so much. Oh, my website, by the way, is linked in my bio. It's my old brand, therealjbomb.com. I need to change it over. I purchased the website jessicapage.love. That's why I changed my Instagram to that name.
Oh.
So that website will be switched over once I can figure out how the fuck to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's yeah.
But it's still working, people can still pay and get inside of your membership and all.
Yeah, exactly. All that's on the website. I forgot to say that.
Very important.
One thing I'll just say real quick too is I have a lot of self-paced courses and classes, like low-cost ones. I have like more in-depth ones. Those are all on my website as well. So you can, I think I have like 12 to 15 programs up there now, and I even have programs that I took down that I'll probably be putting back up. So there's lots of different ways you can work with me.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank
so much. I love you.
you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, and I'll chat to you soon. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who's watching the replay or the live. So thank you.
Thank you to everybody. I was so like in the flow with what we were talking about. I
Ah,
forgot like talking to
that was amazing. So
you, Bill. Love you so much.
love you.
Bye.
Thank